Found a small piece of leather here that I can use for this strap. So I'm just going to trace this out. I might try cutting this with a pair of scissors because this is thin enough. The other thing is on the back here, I've just got this square. I'm going to actually round these corners a little bit to give it a nicer look. Okay, so that looks like our template. And this original one I'm just going to throw away so I don't accidentally mix it up later on if I want to use it again. I like to hold on to these, and that way I've got a guide for the next one I make if I make something similar. Okay, I think the next thing is to add the little decorative feature. I put a little groove all the way around on this one. I'll show you here. You can see this little groove around the edge. Just adds a nice little finishing touch. So I'm going to get some water and moisten this and then trace a little groove around this. Before I do that though, let's put it on here. So it's going to fit something like that. It's going to fold over. Like that and hold it on. Again, I'm just going to use this little stylus to do this. May not be the best tool, but it's what I've got. So I'm just going to eyeball it here. Just try to keep an even margin from the edge. And this is just a subtle thing, so it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. But it's one of those nice little extras that make the finished product look better. Once I get the line traced, I'll go over it a couple times, pressing fairly firmly to give a nice little crease in the leather. You can already tell it needs more moisture. Okay, there's the first pass. So I'll do that several times and get a nice crease in there, and then let it dry, and then we'll go to the next step. Wanted to give a little update here. This is almost dry, but I found another little punch I had, and I was able to just drag this along that crease to highlight the crease a little more. It worked better than that little stylus I had. Here's what it looks like so far. So next thing is just wait a few more minutes for this to dry, and then I'll go from there. Okay, I've got my gloves back on. I'm ready to dye this piece that will hold the knife in place. Same process. This is the easy part, but just trying to make sure it's an even coat so it looks consistent when it's all done. This will be seen on both sides, so both sides need to be dyed the same. Since this is pretty small, it won't take long to dry. That looks pretty nice. And again, I'll set something underneath it so that the air can get around all parts of it. I'll probably put a fan on this to speed up the drying. This has had time to dry. I'm going to go ahead and put some sealer on it. The only thing we have left is put the 2 snaps in it and cut the holes for this stud snap here. So let's go ahead and put some sealer on it and let that dry. Oops, let me shake that up first. I want to get this fairly well saturated again. And once it's dry, we'll use that burnishing tool on the back side here again to smooth out the suede side of the leather a little bit. And we'll wipe it off with that old sock I've got to smooth it out. Okay, that looks pretty good. Again, I'll put it on something here to keep it above the newspaper, and we'll just wait for that to dry. It shouldn't take too long.